When we say analytics means all the data that is there in our system, we just want to churn that data and do some kind of predictions or understand what the trends look like. Okay. So as you can see, this is one of the dashboards called Cfo Overview. So suppose you are the CFO of the company and you want to actually see what kind of profits my company is in, what kind of revenue they are generating, right? What is my operating expenses? So you have two tabs, profitability and balance sheet, as you can see in this CFO Overview dashboard. Okay, so it has 8 KPIs. Okay, revenue, operating expenses, EBITDA, accounts receivable, DSO, accounts payable, cash and equivalents, right? And if a CFO wants to overview, he can get a quick glimpse of how the revenues are, right? So this orange is your previous year revenues. These are actually your actual revenues this year. So he can actually see that the revenues are better and are positive, which is a good thing, right? Similarly, operating expenses are almost the same, but there is some difference, right? I think versus previous year, it's -3%, right? So which is also good. Your EBITDA, which is your earnings before taxes and deductions and amortization, that is 45%. And you can actually compare, okay, based on your previous and actuals ones. Similarly, accounts receivable, that tells you like where the money is coming from, what are the accounts, and actually these are just high-level overview dashboards. And you can actually, and you can see there are 2 buttons out here, right? In each of the KPIs, you have view details and you have trend prediction. Okay, so we will go further and see, like we can take the revenue one, right? And if we click on the view details for revenue, we can see and drill down further into revenues and see how they are broken up. So let's see. So we click on that view details button and we get this revenue KPI. Now this revenue, as you can see in this dashboard, this is by you can compare it year quarter wise, right? So it's quarter wise, actual versus previous years. You can see that revenue has increased, on which quarter it has increased by how much, right? Then there is revenue by different departments. Okay, so how much revenue was generated from consulting, how much was it from corporate, how much was it from development, finance, HR, IT, and similarly revenue by billing country, right? So from which countries, like we have selected Americas, so we have got 916 million just from Americas. Similarly, you can revenue by product name, which products is fetching you more revenue, which is fetching you less revenue. So this actually gives you a detailed idea about all the KPIs that a CFO wants to see, right? He is more concerned about the financial health of the company. And for financial health, I think these 8 KPIs that we are talking about are the ones that make sense, right? You are more considered about your balance sheet and about your profitability, and each of them has 4 KPIs which you can look into. Similarly, if you can see, there is a trend prediction button, right? And if you click on that, so it gives you a prediction on how your revenue will be in the next quarter or in the next year. So if you see these blue lines, right, this is actually your historical data, right, which is your actual revenue that has been generated till now in the last couple of years, right? And then This analytics engine is actually, this orange dotted line is actually the revenue it is predicting for the next year or so, right? So it's predicting that this would be your revenue trend for the next year based on the historical data that is present within the system. Okay, so you can actually see the revenue trend in it based on the historical data that is there. Okay, and that is how you can actually predict revenue. So this is just one of the KPIs that we have taken. You can have similar results for other KPIs like accounts receivable. So let's take an example of accounts receivable. So if you see the accounts receivable summary, which has come up when we have clicked the view details button there, right? So you can see that quarter-wise what is the accounts receivable, and you can filter it based on the account name as well, right? So which account has fetched what kind of revenue, right? Of the total revenue. The total revenue is 9.4 million, and Airtech Australia this much, Airtech Canada this much. So you can further drill down by selecting things from here, and it will further drill down into that account. Okay, so there are multiple level of drills that you can do in these dashboards, and they will let you know the exact details of the kind of revenue you are generating, which items are generating which revenues. So categories of different KPIs up to the nth level.